With me today, I have Bob McLaughlin, the Executive Director at Mount Carmel Veterans Center. Did I get any of that right, Bob?
That's perfect.
Perfect. I've never been told that. Usually it's like, no, you said this wrong or that. But Mount Carmel Veterans Center, tell me about this. What's going on there?
Well, we started the concept of the Veterans Center here in Colorado Springs in 2014, and we were proud to establish operations in Pueblo at the St. Mary Corwin Hospital last year. So we've been operating for about a year in Pueblo under the leadership of retired Command Sergeant Major Sal Katz and the team down there, working with many partners and trying to make sure that our veterans in the community are getting services that they so richly deserve.
So what kind of services would that entail then? If I know lots of veterans listen to this station and things like that, so what kind of services could they expect?
So the core competencies that we've been working on since I've been on board here after retiring from active duty is transition and employment. And as a matter of fact, we have a full-time employment specialist working in Pueblo, connected to the many businesses down there to help with veterans, military members, and their families for employment. We have a supportive services case manager that's working in Pueblo now. And basically, it's whatever a need that a veteran has, sit down with the case manager and walk through how to help. And that includes anything from connecting to housing, connecting to financial coaching, and just making sure that if someone needs a immediate assist to get over a life hurdle, that we're there to help them, because we want to make sure that our veterans know that we're there to support them. And then we partner in Pueblo with some of the behavioral health providers there to try to make it easier for our veterans to get health care in Pueblo, and that's been a personal passion of mine. In many cases, some vets have to travel either to Colorado Springs or Denver, and we want to prevent that. We want to make sure that Pueblo vets can get their health care in Pueblo to avoid the challenges of transportation. And that's just a few of the things. We're going to keep working with the community. Brian McCain from Action 22 is actually a community ambassador for Mount Carmel. Mm-hmm. We have about 35 of them in Pueblo. Brian and I are hosting a veterans roundtable at 9 o'clock this Friday at the Water Tower Place, which used to be Alpha Beta Packing.
Right.
So if veterans get a chance to hear this before that, we want to make sure anyone that wants to come to that roundtable at 09 this Friday can attend.
Well, that's good stuff. I remember for years and years, and I mean 20-plus years, taking my dad to Denver, to Veterans Hospital there in Denver, and what a hassle that was, getting him there and, the whole thing of that. So this would be great for veterans here in southern Colorado to have a couple of places to go there as well. Are you looking for help? You looking for volunteers, anything like that?
Sure. We love volunteers. I mean, Sal does a myriad of things down there. We do food drives monthly that he's always looking for volunteers for. We're involved in the Veterans Day Parade. So, I mean, anybody who's interested in volunteering in Pueblo can contact us directly or contact Sal Katz. I'm 772-7000. That's how they can contact me directly. And also in Pueblo at the east wing of the St. Mary Corwin Hospital is where our office is there. And I'll get specifics for you for the Pueblo contact information before we end the interview today.
Okay, that sounds good here. But so you could use some volunteers, but veterans too, they can just reach out to you and take advantage of these services. A lot of times veterans are overlooked here in the past few years. It didn't used to be that way. It just seems like it's more that way recently. So thank you for what you're doing there. That's for sure. Absolutely.
We are, I did almost 30 years of active duty. And, I served on active duty at Fort Carson about 12 years ago. And at the time, I learned quickly the importance of engaging in the communities, especially in southern Colorado. and how important it is to make sure that our military members, and we all know that there's going to be more active duty military moving into Pueblo West and Pueblo, which is good for the community and obviously the economy as the population grows. We want to make sure that in Southern Colorado we're taking care of our vets that have earned so much and really never ask for assistance.
That's for sure. And as I mentioned, taking my dad to Veterans Hospital in Denver, you see the price a lot of those guys paid. You know, you see it. You don't have to ask them. You don't have to talk to them. You can see it. And maybe not quite that magnitude right now, but certainly those guys have paid their dues. Those guys and gals have paid their dues. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. And, you know, the City of Heroes, Pueblo, with 4 Medal of Honor recipients.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been an honor for me to always speak about Bill Crawford specifically and his heroic action during World War II. I had an opportunity in 2017 to speak at his at the memorial dedication at Palmer Lake, and his story is fantastic as a representative of the Pueblo community.
You know, at the Weisbrod Aircraft Museum here in Pueblo, they've got a feature of him there and all the story and stuff too. Really interesting stuff, and makes your heart feel closer to him. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And when I you know, even, I mean, it was so long ago, but the things that he did as a young man and that his dad received his Medal of Honor, which they thought was posthumously here at Fort Carson, and then him being a custodian at the Air Force Academy as a humble servant is huge. So it's just an amazing story. And I'm compelled as a veteran myself to make sure the fabric of our nation's youth learns from these great heroes, you know, the traits of humility, sacrifice, service, giving back. That's what's going to keep our country strong. The thought of the future of Americans that understand that it's, you know, like what Kennedy said, don't ask not what my country can do for me, but what I can do for my country.
Right.
You know, we're going to need more of that.
Once again, with me today, I've got Bob McLaughlin from the Mount Carmel Veterans Center and the executive director there, and chatting about some things coming up. And I know you've got some great things coming up as well, especially in January, right?
Well, we do, and we're proud that we're going to do a Salute to Heroes event at Pueblo Community College on the 19th. We will put out more information about that as it draws closer. You know, for me, anytime you get to highlight veterans and bring people together in honor of veterans is a good thing. So that'll be on the 19th of January. And I did mention earlier about our Veterans Roundtable this Friday at 9. One of the key things that we're going to talk about is the idea of taking what the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs has done in Grand Junction with its one source and do a public-private partnership between Mount Carmel and the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs to expand operations in Pueblo. We've been in discussions with the state about this for a few months now, and we're kind of in the visioning phase, and they're trying to line up the resources to make this happen. I think it would be great for Pueblo veterans to be able to have a more expansive center, both public and private, to help them. So stand by for more information as we continue that coordination.
That sounds good. Now, if somebody wants to find out about this on their own, I'm sure you've got a webpage, Facebook page, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, veterancenter.org is our webpage with you know, you can click on Pueblo specifically, and then Sergeant Major Retired Sal Katz, Great American, running the show down there, and the number for the Pueblo offices. 719-309-4719, and you can reach Sal directly at skatz, SKATZ, at mountcarmelcenter.org. That's MT Carmel, like the candy, right. Center.org.
Okay. And if anybody needs that information, they can contact me here at the radio station in case you didn't catch it. But all good stuff. I appreciate you taking the time. I want to thank you for your service, too. I didn't say that at the start, so I definitely want to thank you for your service, not only there in the military, but everything you've got going on now, too.
No, I'm honored to do it. You know, my hat's off to all the great heroes in Pueblo and and we want to be part of their lives and make sure that we can help them in any way that they need it. So God bless all the vets and military members and their families in Pueblo.
Well, there you go. Even if they don't have a statue down at the convention center and that, they still are heroes in my book, too.
Me too, absolutely.
All right. Bob McLaughlin, thank you so much for taking the time to check in here this morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.